Let's get the synth wave out of our ears.
It's so calming.
They love the synth wave. The chat room loves the synth wave. Oh no, Boone in our chat room has an ulcer. My dad had an ulcer, and I think I have one, but I think I have everything because I'm a hypochondriac. All right, let's get rid of that. We do have a guest.
Heard ulcers are rough to deal with.
Yeah, my dad had one. He was the old death of a salesman, over-the-road salesman.
Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, every morning he'd be slugging the Pepto. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine. Thank you.
And do we call you Lady Jaimz?
Lady Jaimz is the burlesque name. James is my regular name. So either way, it's James with a Z. That's a girl named James.
Let's talk about that. Is that disrespectful, though? If you're like, it's like stolen valor. Like, if you're out of costume and you say, like, Lady Jaimz, I feel like that would be
a stage
I'd look at him.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I'm promoting it, so, you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. We haven't started yet. That's an excellent warm-up. You look great.
You're right.
The guest thing still is wrong. Somebody else fix the guest thing. All right, Mr. Van, would you like to start us off here, buddy? Here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Of course, it's Fringe time.
Hey!
And you can just get the button to see all the Fringe shows.
That didn't sound right. Hold on. Let me do a hey again this way. Hey! It sounds better with
fanfare.
It sounds better with the blast on there.
I just found out like Max's breakdancing crew is going to be at Fringe too. I'll talk about that later.
Oh, that's cool. I want to go support that.
If I want to see if Max can go out there too. They're just basically putting on a demo, promoting themselves.
Dude, Fringe is where you get the coolest stuff, and we do have a guest here to help us promote Fringe a little bit.
Yeah, from the show Corsets and Cuties, that's been around for 10 years.
Yes.
This is the last, this is the fin.
Yeah,
and over 100 different shows. And this year at the Orange venue, Lady Jaimz is here. How you doing, James?
I'm fantastic. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
I've said when I come in, I have a funny history with you guys. Back in the day,
we did something bad, didn't
that
we?
made me nervous
No.
when you said you're like, there's a funny backstory about you guys. I'm like, uh-oh.
Do you remember dancing in a bear suit promoting a condo?
Yes.
That was me. I hired you.
Really?
Wait a minute, he's talked about this before.
Hold on,
Wait
James.
a minute, is this where you had, I was there, you had an amazing spread of food.
Yes, we did.
You had like a killer spread.
Yeah,
the Hooters was out. The Hooters semi-truck was out there.
I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to be wrong, but it was. I'm a massive Hooters fan. It's my daughter's.
I love the wings.
Okay, me and my daughter love Hooters, and it's gone now. It's gone.
I
It's
know.
Well, we still have some, and we are going to visit. But yes, I had so many wings that day, and and not the cuties, but the Hooters cuties were out there.
Yes, Hooters cuties.
Oh my God! Before, okay, so you were
This
a
was
corset.
even before the cuties.
Yours Corset and Cuties, and you were an apartment cutie hiring him and Hooters to do apartment.
I've always created events. I've always cast events, or like filled holes, basically.
Yeah, hey,
pun intended.
There it is.
Where it was needed. So I lived in that condo, and they needed a big event to bring in new buyers. And so I was like, hey, I know people in the entertainment industry. Let's get some media.
Yeah.
And at the time, you were with the Monsters.
Let's make a spectacle.
And I said, let's put a bear out spinning a sign. And you've talked about it ever since, and that's the best media ever.
You know what? Your idea got talked about. I think it got talked about like maybe 2 weeks ago.
Much.
We talked about it.
I know.
And he has been chasing this person. And I think
James,
also,
hold on.
Tell him it was me.
Also, do you know that we created somebody else? We didn't know that was you. We created a character in our mind of like this down in his luck, like mad, like manager of an apartment complex. He's like, I gotta do something. I gotta do something.
His last ditch effort to keep his job. And that's
what that kind of was for that person. I just hired you.
So that person did, because I remember him sweating in his suit. And then as he looked around and no one was there, and he was like,
I have to tell you something else.
Oh my God.
I have to tell you something else that I think we've told, but this guy calls me. I'm sure you were outside puffing a cigarette.
Probably.
You called me like, hey, man, you got to get down here. There's so many Hooters wings this day, and the girls around here, and there's drinks. You got to get down there and get some free food, man. Oh, yeah.
They ended up selling 3 units, so congrats.
Did they?
Yes.
We never had an answer.
James.
It was a huge success.
She's out of uniform. Call her James.
It's okay. It's okay.
He got nervous. He got very nervous.
I mean, I don't
3
mean
units? You're 3-unit Tommy.
That's
you sealed
right.
the deal.
I don't mean to doubt you, James.
Actually, friends of mine.
No way that's a
for
huge
real.
success.
Friends of mine who bought are still living there today.
Well,
More than 10 years ago.
But how? Okay, my whole. I've
This
been
is the greatest thing you
James,
could have come
oh
in to
my
talk
God.
about.
And
We
of
haven't
course-
even talked about Burlesque.
No,
we
we
haven't
don't
even
have
talked about
to.
Fringe.
We don't have to.
We will.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
You
no,
guys
no.
know Corsets and Cuties. You know the name.
Yeah, we'll
It's
talk
all-
about the show,
And especially
yeah.
our guys, because they're super horny and they like beautiful women. But all of our guys are like, oh, yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah,
We get around.
It's the last time for you to catch the show at the Orange venue.
We're in the
which is-
biggest venue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you got an aerialist.
We have aerialists, we have singers, we have dancers. We have a roller skating stage cat who's helping us out. So
Oh, that's pretty
I
It's
cool.
going to be
mean,
a big show.
it is our biggest show yet, and it is the most ambitious. And I'm super excited, but I'm also super stressed about tech because I don't know anything technical wise.
Sure.
I can put together a show and give me a microphone, and I will host all day long.
Right.
Talk about an XLR cable or a DIE box or whatever the hell it is. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it can
No
tank
idea.
a show. It tanked our OLE show. Like we had a show that literally just the back line was bad, and we'll never live it down.
Yeah. So
like the
I'm,
listeners will forever hate us for the OLE show, right? They
the
will.
old show.
And
yeah.
we deserve
Yeah.
that. It
That was
know,
the beginning of the end for us.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
that really what we'd already hit our peak, and we did that, and it was like, all right,
We
boys.
have-
reality is you're just not that good.
We have our tech on Saturday, and thank God we have great techs with the Fringe. And I have another friend who's been helping me out with like projections and stuff. And I'm like, I am so leaning hard on y'all.
Yeah.
I will put fishnets on all day. Do not ask me to program something.
Sure.
That is not my wheelhouse. I am so Gen X. I'm just like, press a button, make it go.
And I have to do it, and I'm naturally starting to reject it.
Yeah.
You know, like I have to do it. But I was actually having a conversation with my wife this morning. I was like, I texted her. I was like, I do not want to edit anymore. I can't do it. My eyes cannot do it.
Yeah, for real.
James, back to spinning the sign at the condo.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna blow his mind. You blew his mind.
Do you want to spin the sign for our Fringe show? I'll give you pasties.
I mean, he literally will do anything.
$300. I want to cash this
I
time.
can get it sponsored, man.
You know
Premier
what?
is good.
If you could bring Hooters again, I'll come too.
No, man, I got a better sponsor. Premier Couples has been our sponsor for over 10 years.
Oh, right on.
They will hook you up, my friend.
Now, let's talk about that for a
Yeah.
second, because that's unique.
They're
a
amazing.
burlesque troupe.
Yes.
A burlesque group. No
Yes.
different than any other, I'm guessing, improv or like a, I mean, you guys, you have a team of people that come together but have been sponsored by the same sponsor
Yes,
for 10 years.
we're
That's
very
weird.
unique and very lucky that way.
Yeah.
Premier, everybody knows in town because of the jingle. Premier Couples Superstore. You know,
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
knows it. It plays
Yeah.
at the top of our show.
Nice.
But people don't understand. It's a couple. It's a family that owns that business. It is really mom and pop, and that's what we call them.
Cool.
They come to every show. They bring their kids. Now they bring their grandkids because they're old enough. They've been married for over 53 years, and they run a sex shop. They're doing something right?
Yeah, and they've been with you guys for a long time. How
Yeah.
long do you want to run Corsets and Cuties?
Here's the thing. We're not ending Corsets and Cuties. We're ending the regular troupe because it's a lot to, what I say, wrangle the cats.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's
Sure.
anywhere from 8 to 10 regular cast members, and that's 8 to 10 schedules, 8 to 10 personalities, 8 to 10 things we have to figure out to make things come together
Sure.
cohesively, anywhere between 4 to 6 times a year, depending on what the show schedule is. So there's been an opportunity over the past few years for other burlesque groups to grow. When we started, there were only 4. Now there's 27 at last count in Orlando, which is great. I love it because now there's more opportunities for representation, more performance opportunities, ways for people to grow, right? So instead of having a regular troupe where others are doing that now, I want to kind of parlay all of my information and learning from all of this, experience into a production company that can do more things, not necessarily burlesque, but other shows. Like I want to bring the community together and do all-star shows, which brings people from other burlesque groups together in one show. We never get a chance to play with each other.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I want to do amateur shows to give up-and-comers an opportunity. We have been doing amateur shows once a year, and it's gotten so popular because everyone's hungry for a chance. They just don't have a lot of opportunity.
How hard is that to get somebody, namely, like even my buddy Angel from the Monsters?
I
who did
love Angel.
Yeah, he
He's
did.
wonderful. He killed it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
He killed it.
Well, he doesn't strike me as the type of person, A, that would ever do burlesque, or B, like, I know he's going to kill it because he's a performer and I love the guy.
He danced burlesque.
He absolutely
Yeah,
did.
you didn't know about that?
Killed.
What?
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
the.
Apparently,
Did
he brought the old, he brought it out. He brought
No,
out the long
I
gun.
He
That's
helicopter.
Yeah.
I mean, that man can
Listen,
helicopter.
that's the thing about burlesque.
I know that. I mean, I've never seen
Yeah.
it, but I've done the math.
Yeah.
and I've stood next to Angel many of times.
6'9".
And
Yes,
I
he
mean,
is.
Yeah, I've stood next to him too, Tom. Yeah.
100. I'd bet my life biggest dong in that entire
the biggest
building.
at Real Radio, 100%.
No, well, here's
Yeah.
the thing about burlesque,
Sorry.
boys. Burlesque is the art of the tease. You don't bring anything
He
out.
can't tease that; it's too big.
You
What
bring-
are you gonna do?
You
Like,
leave
there's
him wanting
nothing,
more.
There's nothing you can do.
You leave him wanting more.
It
And
can't
his-
be stopped.
He
It's
left
like-
his hat on. Let me just say.
Did he do that song?
No, he did Postmodern Jukebox Seven Nation Army. It was brilliant.
Okay, that's good.
It was
That's
slow. It was sexy.
Good. Would you do it? Would you do burlesque?
So he was sexy dancing?
Absolutely was.
Oh,
Absolutely was.
It's embarrassing, Angel.
No,
it's not.
He-
Is
let
there
me-
video of
No,
this?
no,
He has
it-
so much money
Dude,
thrown at him.
this is what I can't get
guarantee you
him to-
he made more that night than he did at the radio station.
James, can you
Well,
help
that's
me?
an easy guarantee.
That's a funny joke. That's a really funny joke.
I'm a funny girl.
James, can you help him understand
Oh, but
that
is
being
it-
in touch with your emotions
Yeah.
and showing a lady or ladies or men, depending
Yes,
on what it
we
doesn't
do
even
have
matter.
boylesque.
Everybody, yeah,
Yes.
boylesque is a
Yeah.
thing. If I'm like doing a little, Angel raised his level of
His street cred, man.
his street cred, his
Absolutely.
sexuality, his how people like. I made him more attractive to me.
It's
and
empowerment.
Yeah, it's confidence, man.
So,
it's
was
balls.
there a video
it's
of this?
It's yes.
There
no,
is?
no.
I don't
there-
think they
Sexy
released
dancing?
it. No,
there
you
is
had to
not.
be there that night,
You had
right?
to be
yeah,
there.
you had
There's
to be
pictures.
there.
Yeah,
there are
photos,
pictures.
yeah.
It's big balls. It's big balls.
And was he like tell me about it. Was he doing the
You had to be there.
He was doing a slow
Air-
seduction of the audience.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Was he humping the air?
No, that was Daisy.
yeah.
She was on everything.
Yeah.
back to the sign spinning. Hold on. Because James, you say it worked,
It-
but
so well.
I remember this vividly partly because I've
I
told
came
the
by
story
on my
of-
scooter. I had a 07 Vespa GTSIE.
And you were in a bear
I
suit.
came by on the scooter and I ate free wings.
The reason, I like talking about ridiculous radio promotions because it's just funny to me. Standing out in a parking
Yeah,
lot.
but this
or
one,
whatever.
she's saying this one wasn't ridiculous because she sold 3 units.
Absolutely.
Okay, hold on.
He doesn't like proof either. I give him proof all the time, and he's
Yeah.
like, hold on a second.
Have confidence.
My argument was first I get paid $300 when I used to work at radio to show up for these promotions.
And that
So I
was like 15 years ago.
yeah.
That's
So-
amazing money.
I know.
Amazing
You're
money.
welcome.
So I was like, yeah, no, I appreciate it because, but I did
You haven't even
say-
said that yet. I feel like JD Vance. You have to say thank you. She's been here the whole time. What's wrong with you?
And then I remember a cop pulling up. He's like, "Drunkie, what the hell are you doing out here?" Then I'm like, "This is a promotion." He's like, "This is a horrible neighborhood."
It's a better neighborhood now. It's by Millennium Mall,
Yeah,
man.
they sold 3
Yeah,
units. I made it a better neighborhood.
Well, back then, I was like Holden and.
It was up and coming, getting
yeah,
gentrified. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gentrified
Yeah,
it.
you did. You single-handedly
So-
gentrified the Millennium Mall apartment
My
complex.
argument was no one is just randomly driving and then sees Mia holding a sign that says condos this way.
No, we've been telling everybody Drunkie was going to be there, and
Yeah.
they came for the bear.
They
Yeah,
were
but-
greasing the wheels.
But then randomly, like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a condo right now, like just on the whim. Like, I don't, who cares about where I live currently or my future or past? Like, it just seems
Just no
absurd.
planning.
Well,
Yeah.
how long have you been talking about it? Over 15 years, right?
Yeah, I mean-
well, it didn't help.
It's the
I
long
only
game.
talk negative
It's
about
the
it.
long game, man. They wanted to see the
It's
condos.
the long game. It's hilarious.
Anyway.
So back to me.
Yeah. So do you not work in that field anymore? or like-
That was
yeah.
just, again, it was like event planning, and I still
Okay.
do. My
Gotcha,
day
gotcha.
job, I actually still have a day job. I'm a catering sales manager for Big City Catering.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Very
I
cool.
like to feed people. I'm still a Southern mama, I want to
Yeah.
make sure
Yeah.
people are fed.
I love that.
Yeah, so I've brought in stuff for the monsters. We did the Miss Monster Burlesque this past year, which was
Yeah.
massively successful.
How do you, when you're getting to get back to that question, how do you take somebody that's never done it?
Oh,
like
right,
if
okay.
Tom were trying to do this seriously, which he doesn't like that example, but if you were to try and teach somebody who is afraid, are they never gonna get it, or like?
They have to have a sense of passion to want to do it for sure.
Gotcha.
There's an amazing place here in town that other burlesque groups have come to get together as a collective and have created the Burlesque Conservatory. And you can take classes to kind of get in touch with that inner confidence, find your character, find your routine, find your gimmick. Basically, that whole thing from Gypsy, you got to get a gimmick. That's a big
Right.
part of burlesque. I mean, everybody has their own persona they bring to the stage. And once somebody has that want or need to do that, that's going to give them the spark and the fire to take that leap. We've had people in the amateur shows that were, former theme park workers, and they aged out or they stopped doing it. Or in my case, I became a mom and I was no longer the image of what they wanted, So we created a stage for those people who still wanted to perform. We've had people come in who were in abusive relationships and they wanted to reclaim themselves, which is so empowering.
Oh, yeah.
It's so amazing to see that come to life on stage. We've had people who were going through transition. We've had trans performers who are creating their persona and coming into their own, and they do that in front of a welcoming, loving audience.
Yeah.
And it's so wonderful to have that feeling of love for the night. Even the performers who are quote-unquote competitors.
Sure.
We support and promote each other. It's never a competition against each other.
Yeah, it seems very supportive. No different to me than like my craft beer buddies are always so
oh my God, my
supportive of
brother,
each other. Or, like
you and the craft beer. My brother takes pictures of his beer and posts it. It's so funny. He's such a BDM.
But artists, though, they're like artists typically, other musicians typically are supportive. Other dancers, I see it with my daughter in dancing.
Yes.
Like normally until maybe it gets poisoned.
Yes.
It becomes a very positive space.
It
it's
can
very
be,
safe.
and that's what we want.
Yeah.
Yes, it can go toxic very easy, and I try so hard to stay Switzerland. I tell my cast the same thing. Do not put anything on socials. Stay out of the drama.
Is that hard because you're
It's
dealing
so
with
hard.
something that can go over the edge of sex quite quickly, right?
Well, it's not even that. It's the clashing of the personalities or misunderstandings or something quick happening backstage and you don't know about it until the next time. Then it builds and it festers. And like I said, we don't have a chance to play with each other quite often. So somebody might have said something that was taken the wrong way, and then it's talked about in groups here and there and there. And then by the time it gets around, it's like a game of telephone.
Yeah.
Everything is so misunderstood. So clear communication is so important. Positive affirmations are so important. And really listening and talking to each other. Even if something's going to be a uncomfortable conversation, have it. Because 5 minutes of a conversation to get a problem fixed is so much better than a month of fighting and just bad feelings.
So your wife has done elements of this when she did her boudoir photos.
Oh, I love boudoir photography.
Why did you bring that up?
I like to bring
Quit
it up.
bringing up my wife's boudoir.
Keep my wife's boudoir out of your
damn mouth.
Oh, please hit me. It's the only way I can feel anything is when men punch me in the face.
Same.
I feel like you keep because I would do this too if your wife did boudoir.
Dude, I think it's cool. You don't think I think that's cool? You think I bring that up because I'm like, oh, no, I wish that would suck if my wife did
Do you
that.
want your wife to do it?
Oh, I would love it if my wife did that. My wife will never do that.
She's gorgeous.
I think my wife's gorgeous too, but what I was going to say to Tom is I think his wife is 2 steps closer to doing this in the bedroom than my wife would ever do it. My wife ain't going to put on a rockabilly hair tie and start pretending that I'm fixing her motorcycle, I think your wife would.
Yeah, I know why you keep bringing it up, because you hope one day I'm going to be like, hey,
I'm going to get
see
those
it?
photos. Yeah.
I'm going to show you, and I'm like, hey, look at that.
Yeah,
You see it?
It'll be after something we've done terrible.
I would want to see it.
It'll be after we've killed a man, and this will be how we seal the covenant of...
Reclaim it.
Well, we have to look at this, and he's like, now we're in it together.
So, James, how was Angel dressed?
He wore a 3-piece suit and a fedora. He came out with a cigar.
Hey, you have a fedora.
Listen,
he has a purple suit in the lobby.
We have another Miss Monster coming up.
Why don't you
another
do
round.
that? That would be his dream, is to perform.
Another Miss Monster?
Yeah, another Miss Monster Burlesque is coming up.
You should do it.
Our winner, BB Caliber, is going to crown the next winner.
Yeah.
Do they do the ping pong balls in the pudding?
That is not
that's
Burlesque.
a different. This is Miss Monster Burlesque.
Oh, okay.
Burlesque is not a ping pong show.
But what
okay.
if Druggy the Bear, a la the Purple People Eater, shows up in his purple business suit and throws it down?
To a purple thong.
Yeah, would you do it to a purple thong?
Did Angel get back into a thong?
Your body looks great, by the way.
His pants were tearaway.
They
absolutely were.
Someone has to have video in the crowd of this.
They don't.
Everybody has
it was no cell phones allowed.
You can't take video because you have to be there to experience, and you don't get it for free.
Yeah.
But
And he revealed the 6'8", the big sixer.
Someone's got a video of this.
He was in such the right mindset to go into this too, because
he was on mushrooms.
He was so
like, did you
like,
pay him $300 like me to do this?
I guarantee you, he made more than $300 that night.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Sanford was very generous
He was
that
getting
night.
tipped out pretty heavily.
We had dollar bills
from what
throwing.
I heard. Yeah. So would you do this or make you too uncomfortable? Would you run off stage with
No.
red cheeks?
I'm sure the monsters would welcome you with open
They
arms.
would. I would. It would be your dream. And what if that's the way you return to the monsters? Purple suit burlesque.
No,
that's
dude.
a weird way to come
Or
back.
we could do him against Ryan and have them both do
That'd
it.
be a weird way to come back.
I do want to get back to doing nothing.
He's not wrong. Oh man,
Working hard every day
Checks,
Yes,
holy
I
smokes.
get it.
I used to do
completely.
nothing.
I'm
not even joking.
I used to
Nothing.
get on YouTube and just search.
I did nothing.
Yeah, I have no time to search YouTube now.
Yeah,
Now I have to run
It's
YouTube.
amazing how little I did.
If I have like 30 minutes to wait in a doctor's office, I'm so excited for like just a stupid TikTok like stream to just check out
What's
and
on
not
your
use my
algorithm?
brain.
Let's talk about it. What's on your algorithm?
Burlesque for one. I have like house cleaning videos.
Oh, nice.
Videos of house restoration. I love that kind of stuff. I'm into like old haunted houses and seeing people refurb that kind of stuff.
I like that one super hot, and she's kind of burlesque-y, creepy cake and like craft.
Oh, Christine.
Christine.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, Christine. I forget her last name.
She had a
Netflix
limited run
show.
series with
Yeah.
Dita Von Teese.
Yeah,
She guest starred.
She had like a Netflix show, and it was like
Creepy, kooky stuff.
yeah, she'll do like a apple pie, but she's so talented that she'll make the crust look like it's a sandworm from Beetlejuice,
Mm-hmm.
but it really looks like one. And then she's also drop dead hot
Yeah.
while doing
Okay,
it, which
yeah,
is
yeah.
like
Which doesn't hurt. Yeah.
I feel like that's like really hard to do. Like you can have like one or the other. Like I feel like you can either be like
super talented.
super crafty and whatever, and then you're gonna look like an old grandma, but she does not. She does not do that.
Well, you find that in the burlesque world because we do a lot of our own costumes. We create a lot of our own stuff. It's very expensive to look as cheap as we do. That's a thing we borrowed from Dolly Parton.
That's funny.
But Premiere, really helps offset the costs with that stuff, and that's another reason we've been doing this for 10 years.
That's
So
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
man.
I mean, you don't hear of that very often.
No. Not a Berlin. I mean, like anything for 10 years, let alone something of the arts held together. I feel
And
like
Orlando's a tough town to keep stuff running, man.
yeah, and people are leaving. Like my art friends, I see
It's
them.
so
They're
transient.
trying to get out of here quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes, Tom.
let's plug the first show.
Yes, please.
When's the first night?
Oh my goodness! Now you're gonna have to give me a
sorry.
second to look at
No,
stuff.
you're fine.
Again,
You're totally fine. While you're looking for that, I'm gonna do a quick little dance for Tom. Hold
diddly
on.
dee, diddly dee.
You can leave your hat on.
We
that
have our press preview on Saturday, so that's what I'm focused on.
Okay.
Once I get that out of the way, that's checked off the list. So we open on Saturday the 17th. And that's at 8:30. And like I said, we're in the Orange venue, which is the biggest venue. So please buy tickets. Orlando is such a last-minute town.
And this is where you can feel confident when you buy these tickets because the money's going to the performers, guys.
Yes.
I mean, when you buy the button, you got to get one. And
The
when
button supports the festival,
Yep.
and that's how we keep the festival running.
Yep.
All ticket sales go back to the performers, which in turn goes back to my cast. As well as tips. We do ask for tips during the show. A lot of people don't realize that. So come with cash. We have somebody there making change for tips if you want that.
Nice.
It's part of the experience. I mean, it's a $15 show, whereas our usual show is $20, $25. So you're still, saving some money there. But, it's part of the experience. Tip your performers. Let them know you appreciate what they're doing. It's an appreciation culture rather than a money grab. A lot of people are like, why are you asking for money? I'm like, it's really... It's singles, it's dollars. You know what I mean? It's an appreciation thing. It's the experience of being immersed in the whole world of it.
It's kind of part of the thing too. I think it
Yeah.
adds to the ambiance of what you're doing.
Well, it's
there,
just like
you
a
know?
drag show. You appreciate the
Yeah.
drag performers by giving them tips.
It would be very weird if you took that away. I feel like it's like when they took the audience away from wrestling. It doesn't work.
Yeah, we did burlesque online during COVID.
Yeah.
Completely different
Yeah,
experience.
it doesn't work. I mean, it's just weird because
We tried to keep it going,
it's-
and we had some great patrons that still
Sure.
supported us, but it's not the same.
It's an energy exchange. and,
Absolutely.
yeah, when it's tipped off weird, I
Yeah.
don't know. It doesn't work.
Quit asking for change when you give someone a tip because it's awkward for everybody involved.
He's right.
It was just,
He's
like,
right.
you have a $10 bill. They see it. They're like, oh, 10. And you're like, I would like $5 back,
$5,
please.
yeah, exactly.
You know, I don't think I've ever done that.
And then they have to open their tip or like
No,
go
I've
through
gone
their
as
tips.
far as
I don't
remember,
think I've ever given change.
I remember a bad one.
do that
I
with a
remember
valet.
You do?
I remember a bad one. One time I went to get a beer from OJ. Remember OJ when he would sell beer at the old arena?
Oh, you're not talking about Simpson.
No, but I am. We used to have a beer guy that looked exactly like OJ Simpson, and
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
just called him OJ. So you'd yell, OJ, bring me a beer. And he had the glove on his hand, too. It was awesome. It was hilarious.
Oh, Jesus.
And also not hilarious because people died. But I gave him a 50 for a tall boy ice house, and then he was like, "I keep it," and I'm like, "You can keep it."
I've done it a lot with valets, and
Yeah.
then you give them, you give them a 10. You're like, I would like 5 back, please. Then they pull out a drug dealer wad of money.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
deliberate. That's deliberate. You're supposed to be like, don't worry about it.
No, and then they start going through 20s and 10s to try to find a 5 at the very
that's
bottom.
deliberate to make you go, "Oh no, don't worry about it."
Well, you know what it makes me go is like, you are making entirely too much money for doing.
They run their asses off all night.
But it's that hard. I mean, you're doing a burlesque show. That's
It
way
is
harder.
very hard.
Than
You
parking
need to remember, anything you say on the show, he's going to disagree with.
no, I'm just saying, you're a valet driver who drives your car to a parking spot. That's nothing.
My car's pretty
Nothing.
expensive. I needed somebody.
Honestly, I have such a mom car. I feel guilty ever doing valet because I'm like, oh, you got to get in my car that's littered with show posters and then my daughter's stuff with
trash.
school.
You're an artist. Yeah, you're
It
doing
is an
art
artist. I have a
things.
Kia, and we say on the inside it's like a TARDIS because you can fit so much crap in it.
Yeah.
It's so great. But going back to the show, I do want to tell you one thing. Our last show, which is Sunday the 25th, which is the last show, that's going to be a special of $6 because we want to fill it, we want to pack it, we want to have a last big
nice.
celebration.
Yep. Cranking
Awesome.
it out
Yeah.
then. Getting
I have
everybody in
buttons
there.
for you guys too.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh,
James.
Throw it at
appreciate that. Yeah, throw me it.
Yeah.
Got it. I
Thanks
caught it.
so
Look at
much.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put that up on the camera so you can see it. Hey, thank you
Finn.
for coming in, and I hope you'll
Thank you,
won't
guys.
be a stranger, and you'll come in again.
Anytime.
Thank you for that $300 20 years ago.
Hey, if you want some comp tickets for the show, you can come spin a sign again. I'm not mad at that.
Hey,
Ah.
I'm not above doing that.
It's a
by the
date
way.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My wife is
absolutely.
very cheap. She may send me.
It's $350 now. The rates have gone up.
Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for having us. There's so much you got to promote in this and get the people out. Like I said, Orlando's a really bad town for last-minute ticket sales.
True.
So if people can go online and buy tickets, or you can come, to the box office at Fringe and buy tickets. You can get tickets for Fringe at OrlandoFringe.org.
It helps the artist prepare too. Like
Yes,
it's nothing,
absolutely.
nothing better than knowing that you're selling things out. So
It takes the pressure off and we have more fun.
It really does. So guys, hey, thank you again for coming in.
Thank you again.
Appreciate it. We'll take a quick break and come right back with more of corporate time. Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you. We're still on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah.
Where's this goatee?
That will play Monday.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
Monday at 3.
Monday at 3?
No. The third segment, so Monday at 8. But
Okay.
it'll be in Monday's podcast. And
Okay, great.
What's the date on that? 10, 11, 12. Well, thanks again for coming in,
my
and your
pleasure.
story was absolutely hilarious.
I was so excited to bring that out.
That is so fantastic.
I wish I had pictures of it, but it was like even before the days of Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
It really was. Yeah, it's hard to.
It's before cell phone cameras.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it is.
Yeah. Back in the olden days.
Did you say that was 1 or 3?
3. Yeah, there was it's crazy to think about a world before smartphones, but that was before. It's like
Yeah,
there's no video of it, there's no pictures.
And before I get stuff back in here, because I'm going to have to set up Zoom. Thank you so much for coming in.
Can I get a picture with
Yeah,
you?
absolutely.
So I can put on my socials.
I got to put the turn Zoom on. We
Where do
had.
you want to do it?
Oh, let's do it out here by the step and repeat.
Oh, Brian, I guess, was watching it. My media
Oh,
guy.
yeah, I love Brian.
Brian's great.
He's our guy.
He's been saving my ass because I do all of this myself, and it's
Oh my God, really?
if I can get somebody else to handle this.
Well, you can always hit us up if you need promotion. Because we're looking for content.
Always.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I have to.
Now to go write some proposals.
Oh, yeah. So it's like flip off your fun brain, put on the proposal brain.
Exactly. No, I get brides all day long. Well, I only have $4,500 and I need to pay feed 100 people.
Yeah, that's an impossible task.
Have a good day.
You
Thanks,
too.
man.
Good seeing you.
Thanks again. And let me know if you want to come to the show on the guest list.
Okay,
You
cool.
got it. Thank you. That was super fun. ACT Money 3, 25 minutes. Men's. It's fine. It doesn't need anything cut out. Make sure Zoom is working. Sorry if I'm talking to myself. There we go. New meeting. Start. Put that on there. Go here. I got him. Hello, hello. All right. There he is. I don't think we've ever talked. We talked to Ted's wife. That's who we spoke to about the mold. Yep. That's who we spoke to. Uh-oh. I don't know if we can't hear you. We got nothing on the front end of stuff, but he's saying, okay, hold on. Audio settings.
Uh-oh, man.
He's punching the mic. Okay, yeah. Our mics are fine, same as that. Yep, it should be fine.
I think I have a microphone on.
Oh, yeah, there
we
we
go. We got you. We got
There
you.
you go.
There we got
Push
you.
those buttons, gentlemen. We have technology. We have technological liftoff. Tom, Dan, you guys deserve me. That's the rumor I heard.
Yeah.
All right, we're rolling. TC, when you're ready.
Okay, here we go.
That's good because I'm rolling. You might as well roll with me.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, we're getting feedback, Ted, before we start.
I should hope so. I'll give you some fucking feedback. Why don't you?
Hold on.
I like this. This is what I wanted. Hell yeah.
Are you getting some feedback?
Yeah. That's a real rock and roll right there.
So we hear ourselves on Ted's.
Yeah, it's weird.
Hold on.
I don't know why we hear you, Ted.
How about now?
It's just like an echo on your end. I apologize.
I hate echoes on my end. God, that's like
I'm gonna go in here and adjust a few things.
I've got my settings the same I always do.
All right.
You mean to
Try that.
Okay.
Go to here.
Invented has better technological capabilities than your technological advanced people in the industry?
Yeah.
A magic moment. Echo.
Can you-
Echo.
We're good now.
Yeah, I think we're good. All right. Yeah, we'll just make the best out of it. Tom, start.
Okay.
I would make the best out of it if I were you.
Yeah.
Welcome
So
to
which one
Corporate
is Tom and which one is Dan?
I'm Dan. That's Tom.
Yeah.
And what's
Dan with the beard,
Yes,
Tom
sir.
without the beard. Okay.
What's on your mind, Nuge? Because we know we got bears here in Florida. We got an old man. He's no longer with us. And then we get an email from you saying that, hey, let's talk to, you want to talk to Ted Nugent? We're like, we've always wanted to talk to Ted Nugent, but he must have a problem with what's going on with the wildlife in Florida. So why are we talking to you today, Ted? Help us out here, man.
Well, Dan and Tom, I'm really a different character because I actually give a damn. I actually care. I actually am involved. I'm so extreme and radical, I actually experiment in self-government and consider myself in a legitimate and official authoritative we the people. So I'm working in all 50 states. Gentlemen, if you would discover the curse, the scourge of anti-nature, anti-American, anti-freedom, anti-hunting, anti-fishing, anti-conservation, anti-ranching, anti-farming that just throttles in every state with regulations that take your tax dollars to kill lions and bears and deer and elk and antelope and moose. The USDA actually has a gang of hunters, and I hate to use the word gang because I know these guys. They happen to be the greatest hunters in the world, and they get paid with our tax dollars to kill these animals that we're not allowed to kill. And we're not allowed to use hounds and bait for bear and cougar in many places, but the government hires people with our tax dollars to kill those animals that we didn't responsibly harvest an adequate surplus of, so now they're in the liability column. And this horrible incident in Florida is so heartbreaking because I thought Ron DeSantis was a conservative. I thought conservative, constitutional, conservation, those are the battle cries of the best lifestyles in the world. The Constitution, conservative values, God, family, country, rainbow flags strictly as a symbol of nothing. So my battle cry is that
I've heard that before. I've heard some conservatives say they want the rainbow flag as a symbol of nothing. That's a quote
Hold
right
on,
there.
hold on.
There-
Ted,
do you
hold
feel the love? Do you feel the love?
We do, Ted, but I didn't understand the So,
Hold on.
Tom, question for Ted Nugent.
Ted, I wanted to talk to you about this bear attack. Okay, this is being reported as the first ever fatality caused by a black bear in Florida.
Yeah.
And
Not
so,
true.
no other person has ever been killed by a black bear here. In fact, I've lived in Florida all my life. No one's that I know is an outdoors person is ever afraid of black bears.
I've never. It's been 42 incidents over the course of time. I did research on it.
And so no one's ever been killed by one. And even now, like, I'm curious to how this person, he was 89 years old, and he was like, his dog and him were found dead, but there's not much other evidence out of, like, was the guy killed by the wounds he obtained by the bear? Did he have a heart attack during the attack? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all these still unanswered questions about how he died in this bear attack, because, as you know, Ted, you know animals, like black bears, like grizzly bears kill humans and will eat them, but black bears normally, they've attacked people before, but not anything fatal. So what's your take on that?
Well, Tom, Booby, you got to get out of the studio more often, because black bears kill 10 times as many people as grizzly bears. Black bears kill people on a regular basis. And let's not get into the numbers, but this is not the first fatality in Florida. My battle cry is that there are so many runaway, rampant nuisance complaints where kids are chased home from school bus stops, livestock is destroyed, and your and my tax dollars go to pay the ranchers and the farmers to compensate them for black bear destroyed livestock. And the black bear population, coming from the actual eyewitness boots on the ground, people who live in black bear habitat, which happens to be statewide now, the black bear is dangerously and irresponsibly overpopulated in Florida. There are so many nuisance complaints where the law enforcement, the Fish and Wildlife Commission, who, boy, I could scold them, they respond to nuisance complaint. Right now, the facts are irrefutable. The black bear is in the liability column in Florida. The black bear is a magnificent beast. It's a spiritual beast. It's a delicious beast. It's an exciting beast. It's an apex predator. They are so overpopulated, and that Florida doesn't have an annual, responsible, science-based, sustained yield, habitat carrying capacity, population dynamics. If bears are being killed in downtown Naples by Mercedes-Benz and being seen on a regular basis, I keep in touch with the cops down there, that is an irrefutable indicator that there are too many black bears. You can't have a black bear population and not have an annual harvest, because the old boars are sending these sows and cubs into marginal habitat where people live and where livestock is, because the big-headed trophy boars, and I don't care what you think about trophy, every meal is a trophy. I mean, I had lamb last night, and that was a trophy. The thing is, the black bear, based on eyewitness and irrefutable evidence, is irresponsibly overpopulated in Florida. I want, as all conservationists want, a thriving, healthy wolf, coyote, bear, cougar, panther. We want a healthy, thriving balance, but we don't want dead people, and we don't want our tax dollars to pay USDA hunters to clean up the mess that we're not allowed to maintain on a quality level. Right now we're doing damage control, where an annual bear season is about 20 years overdue, and that would be quality control instead of damage control. This guy didn't need to die, and I do care how he died, but I don't really care the system by which he died. He was confronted by a sow and cubs, based on all information available right now, and for whatever reason, he's dead. That sow and cub should have been afraid of people because they were hunted, and they should have been in prime bear habitat instead of marginal bear habitat where an old guy's walking the dog. The fact remains, there has to be a black bear season in Florida to put it in the asset column instead of a dangerous consideration of an apex predator that is currently in the liability column. So let's go bear hunting. I'll get you a rug steak. We call them rug steaks because it's delicious, beautiful rug, the skulls, the
rug
claw,
steak.
The restaurants, the food, the lodging, the gas,
like
the guides,
that.
the outfitter, the license, the fees. That bear should have brought in tens of thousands of dollars into the economy and not have confronted a man walking his dog.
But Ted, I think we can both agree that obviously, hunting has been a way to maintain healthy animal populations in a lot of instances. And when you have too many of one animal, it throws the balance off and can cause problems with even that own animal's own numbers, right?
Sure,
you know,
yeah.
it's like better for the bears as a whole. I don't know. Here's the thing. Ted knows more about this than I do, but I know that animal populations, it can be worse for the actual population to be overpopulated. More of that same animal will die than even the hunters would kill because it's, you know, so
Amen.
there's got to be a balance.
Tom, amen.
But also, Ted, I also know marketing and using this as like black bears are dangerous all of a
So
sudden.
now we haven't. Let's
It's
open up. Let's get some hunting
that's
going.
also BS, Ted. And I know it's like that's the easy way for people to vote. Like, oh yeah, let's have black bear hunting season because now I'm afraid of black bears. And I'm here to say you shouldn't be afraid of black bears because I lived here in Florida forever, and black bears don't attack people.
Well, I've lived here for 48 years. I've never even seen one.
Yeah. And it's like, and I know that this guy died recently, but I'm just like, it's never happened ever. Like, you're way more, you know, dogs are more dangerous for sure than bears, but it's like, this has never happened where a bear has killed a person in Florida.
Tom, you're wrong. There is documented cases where people have been attacked outside of Orlando, down
Killed?
by Immokalee. Yes, a lady was killed when she went into her yard and two giant black bear boar were fighting, and they ended up killing her. And let's say the information I got regarding that incident is wrong. There are so many documented cases of people being frightened to death, almost to death, and they've been attacked, they've been injured, and you say that black bears are not dangerous. I mean, that is such a ridiculous statement. I mean, black bears kill people in state and federal parks every year. They threaten people, they attack people, they're being killed in self-defense where they're overpopulated. I want a thriving black bear population. It's a magnificent animal. It's really a special animal. When you're in the wilderness and you're hunting, whether it's deer or elk or moose or whatever it might be, and a black bear shows up, something very special happens. In the Native American lore, it is a spirit beast. But the spirit beast needs to be managed within the carrying capacity of its habitat. And I don't want to hear about being encroached with all the development, because black bears and deer and cougar and elk and all these animals, coyotes, wolves, they can live in your cul-de-sac, and they do. Bears breed in Pittsburgh because they're so adaptable. We have more black bears in America than ever in recorded history. More cougars than ever in recorded history. More turkey, more geese, more deer. So, and it goes on because we manage them so that they don't overrun their habitat. And right now, the black bear in Florida has overrun its habitat. It needs to go in the asset column.
Then why for years, though, growing up, me, Tom, both native Floridians, I'm 48, Tom's 43,
I'm 77.
But why would we never, as guys that lived in this state forever, the black bear has always been told to us as being a very, very timid, shy, docile, doesn't have
scared.
Yeah,
Well,
welcome. Yeah, they probably told you Dr. Fauci is a health expert too.
I was told that.
Shy
Someone did
listen,
tell me
Fauci!
that. Yeah, someone did tell me that.
I've been waiting to
Please
scream
listen
Fauci
to me.
for a while
Yeah,
with
yeah.
you, Ted.
Obama.
Docile and shy. It's like I have people that live in Upper Michigan that have never seen a bobcat. Do you think that means there's no bobcat? They're not docile. They're not shy. They're not timid. They're extremely elusive.
So, Ted,
You could be living within spitting distance of a cougar and a bobcat and a coyote and a bear, and you'll never see them. I literally live on wild ground in Michigan and Texas here, and I have to work very hard to find a deer. But there are thousands of deer on my property. These animals are incredibly crafty because they're supposed to be afraid of human beings. And in Florida, bears are not afraid of human beings, and they're not docile. Maybe you might want to talk to the lady who thought the bison was docile in Yellowstone, which she tried to give him a marshmallow.
Hold on. They're like raccoons here, Ted.
Propaganda.
Ted,
You have been brainwashed.
You know how many times I've seen my friends that the bears are in their trash like raccoons, and they're like, "Get out of here!" They run away,
Yeah.
whatever.
Some
It happens.
lady-
Thousands of videos of bears in trash. They're like a giant raccoon. But regardless, Ted, how did the bear, like, okay, because you've heard this before, like, if it's black fight back, brown lay down and white good night, because a polar bear will just kill you no matter what you do. But like a grizzly bear, if you play dead, sometimes it'll leave you alone. And a black bear, we've always been told, like, fight back with a black bear because it'll
Ted
scare it away.
seems to hate your analogy.
Well, you've heard that before, Ted.
Tom, Dan, I'm here to help. You know I'm here to help, right?
Yeah.
You have just repeated the absolute bullshit propaganda. Where'd you get that information about bears? From CNN?
My pop-up told me, Ted. My pop-up lives in the Everglades.
I was told that by Anthony Fauci.
Listen, I grew up here in Florida. My pop-up had a place in the Everglades near where this bear attack.
Yeah, it's close.
He saw the decimation of the Everglades with the all the pythons out there,
the invasive species.
Yeah, all the invasive species. Like, you know, he showed me pictures of like Florida panthers out at Loop Road and in the Everglades, and
Ted,
now you never see them anymore.
What do you think about the introduction of the Texas panther into Florida? Somebody in the chat room.
I happen to know, based on your own Florida Wildlife Commission statistics, there are no more panthers. They haven't found a pure genetic panther in like 25 years, because when you bring in the cougars, they're all the basic catamount. They're all cougars. They're all the same species generally, but they have subspecies. And once they brought in the Texas cougars and they interbred with the Florida panthers, the pure Florida panther gene, it's gone. And by the way, when you say you haven't seen a bear, you haven't seen a cougar, you know damn well they're there. And I know you guys party hardy, and the bears and cougars probably don't show up at your favorite watering hole, but people who live and ranch in the outdoors in prime habitat, they know that there's abundant cougars. They're not panthers anymore. And I would welcome the Fish and Wildlife Commission guy to come on and just eat his lunch like I did with Pierce Morgan. Here's a little tip: if you're going to have an arm wrestle with Ted Nugent, you might want to bring an arm, because they're absolutely lying bureaucrats. You have the highest density of cougars. They're not panthers anymore than you've had in over 100 years. You've got more black bear than ever in recorded history in Florida, and it is a magnificent big game animal that should draw the real conservationists, once again, to keep that population under control so that it doesn't cause a threat. And just because you haven't been threatened doesn't mean Tom has never seen one, so that's our guidance.
He says that a lot.
Yeah, do that a lot. Ted, now you're getting our audience behind you.
This is his bit on the show. We call it Miami Friend Syndrome. I need to make sure you know about this guy. If he hasn't seen it, then it doesn't exist.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the outdoors people that I know too, it's like, no one's ever like, hey, be careful of these black bears.
We both have always heard that you're not supposed to be concerned about black bears.
But Ted, how are they
I thought you just said they're in the dumpster. I thought you just said your buddies see them in the dumpsters like big raccoons. That's the reality.
Yeah. That's what people see. They just scare them off, and that's I have heard people like the ladies throwing out her trash, and there's a black bear in there, and like swiped at her, got her while I was running. Like that. We've all heard attacks like that. But I'm curious, like a grizzly bear. You heard accounts of like brown bear, grizzly, like they talk about like that's the worst way to get killed, because a grizzly will eat you alive. Essentially, and like he's talking about panthers, like cats will bite your neck to kill you first and then eat you, because that's how they kill their prey. So they're like,
generally speaking, Tom, a salute to you. Generally speaking, those are the general realities of the methodologies by these apex predators, but it's not written in stone. They do all kinds of things. You don't know this. You should have me on more often, because I can help. The Fish and Game of Alaska killed 96 magnificent brown bears from helicopters because they refused to issue more licenses. Those bears could have brought in millions of dollars and saved the moose and the caribou populations, which was their claim. But see, the game agencies are not to be trusted. Here in Texas Parks and Wildlife will cut the lock on your gate and come in and slaughter all your healthy deer looking for chronic wasting disease that has never hurt a deer herd, and it can't be transmitted to human beings. I work with these biologists and these specialists, epidemiologists, And the wildlife departments in every state are full of anti-hunters and animal rights people, and I'm afraid that's the guiding light in Florida regarding black bears. The season should be open, just like the deer season, just like the turkey season, just like the hog and the alligator season, the dove season, the quail season. It's a game animal. It's not a cartoon, and it is dangerous. And if one comes at you, you go ahead and play dead. I'll shoot him between the eyes with my 10 millimeter.
Well, I'm gonna fight if they're black, if that's the thing, Ted. But no, Ted, I do agree with you. Listen,
what color was that now?
I agree with you, and I don't trust the government either, and I think they do things horribly. And I see what you're saying. It's like, well, the government, they're like, you can't hunt these things, like the population, but we have to kill them because they're overpopulated.
Which
and
is
so,
why we have 3 dead bears now, right?
Yeah.
And we don't even know if those 3 bears are the ones, or do we?
They're doing DNA
Well, again,
testing to see.
Guys, if they're getting hit by Mercedes in Naples, let me tell. And again, this is not it's not like a Ted Nugent hunch. When people see me on the street, they go, "Hey, Uncle Ted, I love your political views," and I go, "Hang on a minute. The Constitution isn't a view. My politics are written in stone, self-evident truth, logic, and common sense." The point is that when you have a bear season in every state that has a growing population of black bears, the hunters will target the old males. Just something about the big-headed old males that are responsible for killing more cubs than any other cause.
Yeah.
And when we identify those using bait and hounds, and we can identify that older male is dominating prime habitat, and he's sending those lesser animals downtown into the dangerous areas. So a bear season, it's not Ted Nugent's hunch. I don't have an opinion about black bear populations. I live by the science of sustained yield, where these magnificent creatures should be harvested annually to keep them in the asset column. You can't argue against that without making a fool of yourself.
Yeah, no, you're right, Ted. I mean, we all know
I'm
how.
always right. It's a burden I have to carry.
You know what I
You're
just
just
figured
saying
out?
it in a way that I think makes people mad, or it's funny though.
You should remember that.
Poor people's feelings. Well, you hurt their feelings when you said if it's black.
You are Castleberry Ted Nugent. You do the same thing that Ted does on this show, and you make people mad, and all of the listeners hate you. And they'll be like, "Oh, why you say it like that, Tom?"
Yeah, how many people hate you, Ted? They hate me. I know that.
Well, Tom, I got to tell you, I have an inner circle of my band. I'm having the great. It's 2025. I'm going to be 77 this year.
Woo-woo.
I'm having the most joyous, gratifying, stimulating guitar happiness of my life with a couple of buddies of mine. We do these gigs around Texas all the time. We're doing a run in Michigan. It's called the Ted Nugent Shit Kicker Speakeasy Rockouts. And it's just a couple buddies. We set up the amps. It's like 1962 in Detroit. And the music is pure. So my point is that I study this. I live conservation. I run a ranch and a farm. I guide hunts every year with sunrise safaris. I'm tuned in. I've been clean and sober my whole life so I can pick up accurate information to make intelligent decisions. And wildlife management demands the harvest of the surplus of certain game species every year to maintain quality air, soil, and water production from the habitat that we balance with the annual season of harvest. This isn't a hunch from the author of Wango Tango, which, by the way, was a documentary. I live the spirit of the wild. Our show, Shemaine and my show on Pursuit Channel, has been the #1 hunting show for 35 years because we don't play games. And my band, my crew, the people in the audience, you guys, there is a united celebration of goodwill and decency, positive spirit, work ethic, God, family, country, Constitution, Bill of Rights, 10 Commandments, Golden Rule, Declaration of Independence, law and order. Those are the battle cries of the greatest quality of life. So the people that hate me literally like NAMBLA. They like reducing the term pedophile to underage attraction. Those are the people that hate us. I couldn't be more proud.
Yeah, Tom uses that term, underage attraction. I've been trying to get him off that. I'm like,
Ted,
what the hell are you doing?
Plug the Nuge Vault real quick,
Yeah.
too, because it's a subscription. You can get all your music and everything from the Nuge.
Well, I I'm doing another benefit for the military today. I do it every few days. I sign thousands of these hats, and
cool.
we make donations to all these different military charities. You go to tednugent.com, and there's also this Nuge vault that Jason Hartless, my ungodly drummer, has created, digging into the vats and the boxes in my barn, finding tapes from the Lourdes, 1964, the Amboy Dukes, all through the 60s and 70s, the original Ted Nugent album demos and our jam sessions, literally interviews from thousands and thousands of jam sessions and rehearsals and outtakes. And so we created the NugeVault.com, and people are just fascinated by it. And because I have such a vapor trail of energy in my life, when Jason brings up some of this old stuff from the rehearsal tapes of all these different records, it's like I listen to it and I go, oh yeah, that was KJ Knight. How tight was my band? So the Nuge Vault has unleashed just unbelievable miles and hours, days and years of past rehearsals and jam sessions, and it's just fascinating because even as a dumb white kid back in Detroit as a pre-teenage guy, boy, I think we were auditioning for the James Brown band because my bands have always been so tight and the dynamic and such musical adventure. I've had the greatest musicians in the world at my side, including tonight down here in Texas. So I'm a lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, Ted, we appreciate anytime we get a chance to talk to you. We appreciate you coming on, setting us straight. How's the mold? The chat room is asking if that's all done. Are you guys in the clear now, 100%?
Yeah, Shemaine has written a book called Killer House. In fact, she's got a new book called Abundantly Well. My wife, Shemaine, is just unbelievable. She has a Real America Voice, Faith and Freedom show. And yes, we have remedied the mold by dishonest construction people, both in Michigan and here in Texas, but it's really rampant. You should hear the heartbreaking stories of people that have died because the construction people have lied about the waterproofing and the runoff and just construction 101. So it's really a far-reaching epidemic of dishonesty in the construction industry out there. But people's lives have been ruined, and it's still going on. So her book, Killer House, and her new book, Abundantly Well, are available at Amazon, and it really is eye-opening.
And Ted, can we have you back on sometime soon, and let's tackle the subject of manatees, because I'm tired of all these manatee zones and going slow on my boat. And I feel like the manatee population is bigger than ever.
Right, they're fine.
I see that Blue Springs. There's thousands of them in there.
Baby, like, every time I see one, it's a baby.
Yeah. You know,
well, Tom and Dan, thanks for having me on. I got a big mouth. If you take a good look at this old guy, if I had some sleep, I'd be downright handsome. But you have to deal with these ammo bags under my eyes right now. The point is I'm engaged. I'm going to have my 13th grandchild here soon. Shemaine is just a gift from God. My dogs make me happy. My band is the best, most grinding rhythm section in the world. But I appreciate you allowing me on because the Founding Fathers wanted every American to be just like me, suspicious of all authority, defy stupidity, and when our elected employees violate their constitutional oath, we need to cold cock them in the throat.
There you go.
Politically speaking.
There you
Get
go.
him, Ted.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it, buddy.
We'll talk to you soon, all right?
See you, man.
All right, live it up. I love you guys.
Love you
live
too.
it up. Have a great day. Kill a bear for me.
All right. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. See you, Ted. All right.
I have a gun. Let's go get one.
What are we doing? What was, okay, you guys on Reddit said you wanted more dumb old men. And I'm doing it. We're doing it. We're going all 2025.
Two
it's
things.
nothing but lightning rods.
Two things.
Right? Nothing but lightning rods on this show.
One, why doesn't he have a better mic?
That wasn't us. That was him. And it really was bothering me. And then I had to take the L in the beginning, and he said, that's on you. And then I said, we got to make the best of it. And he said, I would. And it gave me one of those, like, I'd make the best of it if I were you. And I'm like, God damn it. That was not me, dude. That was not me.
No, I know.
Do you want to know what was happening? He had his guitar plugged in, too, and it split the channel. So the left side, when he played the guitar, you can hear it.
It was loud,
Yeah. And then, like, I could have explained that to him and said, like, hey, unplug your guitar or whatever. And but it just, you know. And then after he told me to shove a rainbow flag up my ass, I'm like, I was like, well, I don't know what's happening here.
Well,
so
that's
I'm
where
just
you
gonna
lose
let
them, Ted.
Yeah.
What does the gays have to do with
it?
it?
The gays are not going to like if you say.
The gays like killing bears.
They're tough. The gays are very tough. You might have
They're tougher than my straight friends.
We'd probably have more gays hunting in Florida if you didn't tell them to shove a rainbow flag up their ass. You know what I mean? You got to relax on that stuff, dude.
So
you got to be nice.
So
it's just too abrasive. It's not that people always disagree with you, Ted. It's that the way that you say things. It's very much like you.
No, I know,
very
yeah,
much.
yeah.
You are Ted Nugent.
So here's the thing about like black bear hunting, because
I still don't believe him on that because I've never been told by anybody in Florida. Okay, people that we know that do this.
Let's talk about it.
Rodney the Gator Hunter. People that we grew up and knew. Your dad, your grandpa.
Yeah.
My dad living in Florida, not his entire life, but for 40, 50 years.
Well, Ted's argument probably at the end of the day is that the black bear population is way too high, and that's why we're getting more and more problems. And with more and more problems, eventually there's going to be a death. And look what happened. There's a death. And this is going to lead to more deaths because there's too many black bears,
Gotcha.
and they need to be controlled better, and therefore they need to be controlled by hunting permits, blah blah, like other animals. And I agree. They're like, and his argument is sound in the fact that if you leave a population, you let it overpopulate, then like the older
With
bears,
less habitats.
yeah, the older bears will end up killing cubs, and like more deaths will happen.
Imagine if that happened to us. Can you imagine that?
What?
If grown men just started killing kids
Well,
because there was nowhere to live.
And so his argument is like, okay, you want to protect the bear species, then you got to protect them by opening up hunting, which will actually make the bear species better in the long run, which is kind of illogical to some people. They're like, well, how does killing bears make the species as a whole better? And it's like the overpopulation has been proven to do,
and some of the things,
Now,
he was saying about like sick older bears, bigger bears, more aggressive bears. weeding those bears out like could improve the quality of life of the regular population. Somebody in the chat room just said that Ted was claiming that some lady was mauled and killed.
Yeah,
I can't find any of that. I did a deep search on ChatGPT.
All the media is reporting this death is the first death ever recorded.
I think he's mistaken on that. I do think he's wrong on that.
But my question is like, how did the guy die directly because the bear killed him? Or did he die of a heart attack?
I wish
did he die of wounds sustained by the bear? Because
they're not saying wounds; they're just saying they found his body.
Because there have been, like Ted said, black bears who have killed people in other states. I read one in New Jersey where a 22-year-old college student was killed, and he was mauled to death. So that black bear up north behaved similar to a brown bear, which it actually mauled him to death, right? So it directly caused his death. And but that's never happened here in Florida.
No,
in this one case,
it still may not come out. It still could come out that he mauled the dog. The sister called. They came, found his body. He was trying to save the dog. Had a heart attack.
Or he was mauled, and because of his age, he just died where a younger person could have.
Have you heard the 911 call? Because it's very apparent when the neighbor calls and talks to them. The 911 operator even says something to the effect of, was he running from the bear? And then the neighbor is like, he can't run. That would be impossible. He's not.
Yeah.
He's older, he's a very old man.
Now, I don't have one say on it either way because I don't know all the. You have to go and even.
Wouldn't it be ironic?
I'm not a professional.
It would be ironic if the bear had a heart attack.
Like, I don't know if the black bear, if they're overpopulated now or at a level that they need to be restricted. But Ted is right where the government will, because of politics, they won't open up hunting seasons, but the population of these animals have to be controlled. So the government will go and kill them without, and he's like, you might as well let the hunters kill them to harvest the meat and
get the money. It's revenue it could be revenue.
Yeah. Don't have the government mass kill animals because they're like, okay, the population has to be controlled.
Yeah,
but
he's
we're not.
Real big on that. Like he mentioned in this interview, he talked about people shooting a specific type of bears from a helicopter. He also reported about
animals,
a big pack of wolves that the government just came through, and there was like a wolf habitat, and they were like, there's too many wolves. They just killed them all. Nobody hunted them. So
here's the problem with that, and it's funny because we don't. Daniel and I were talking about it.
We
don't even know how this happened.
Yeah, let's talk about how we became talking to Ted Nugent, because I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking they had TJ Miller on. Who else could they get on the show that would piss people off? And I'm like, I know, Ted Nugent. Call him up. No, that's not what happened. How did this happen?
Well,
Trey, you messaged me. I was here at the studio, and you messaged me yesterday. You're like, hey, do we have anything on the calendar at X time? And I'm like, no.
So the only thing that we can come up with is that we had Ted Nugent's wife on. I mean, it was 2 years ago or something. To talk about the mold.
Charmaine.
And then
Charmaine.
And because of that interview, that their publicist team or whatever, like, must have wrote us down like Florida show.
Yeah, like we got this weird email that I even think was like, when I read it now, it doesn't even look real. It says, "Hello from the Ted quarters.
Yeah, and
we would like to talk to you about the bear attack." And then it says, Linda, Ted Nugent's assistant. And it's like, what?
So they reached out to us to and obviously it's funny because we had no idea what he was going to, we just assumed it was probably, I was thinking about this yesterday. It's like, oh, he's probably going to,
well, chat room said, we are the #1 conservative hunting podcast. and this is why. When you think patriot, when you think God, country, guns, when you think...
I don't know who...
When you think Constitution, when you think Declaration of Independence, who do you think of in this town? On real radio.
Tom and Dan.
You don't think of Monsters or Jim Colbert. You don't think of the News Junkie. Too fun. You think Tom and effing Dan.
We the people.
Yeah, we the people. We the people.
But
tomorrow, Casey Anthony, starting the show with Casey Anthony. I'm getting and in studio.
I think she's generally hated by everyone.
Yeah. That'd be a nail. You don't want to do that one. That's a nail in the coffin. You don't want to do that one.
So I don't even know the other side of the people advocating against opening up a bear season. But I don't know the arguments. I don't know the numbers. I don't know anything.
Here's my only argument that I had about this whole thing. And it seems weird to me that you have a bear attack. Let's say the bear did attack the old man and killed the dog, right? Killed them both. Let's say that he didn't have a heart attack. I don't think that because a bear kills an old man and a dog that you should go out and kill 3 bears. That doesn't seem like it makes any sense to me because, like,
you're not even trying to find the one.
You're not even telling me you killed that bear. Now, if you followed the bear, we tracked the bear, we knew exactly where the bear was, and we killed that bear. Okay, I get it, I guess, but I don't understand what you're doing. It sounds very like something I would do. It sounds very irrational. Like, well, we have to do something, so let's just kill things.
Yes,
that's what it sounds.
They
like.
do that with sharks too, where they just keep trying to kill sharks around the area until they find the one that may be responsible for the death. And I think more the locals are like, it's like, oh, this is a bear that's attacked humans.
You Rocky Balboa there for they go, hey,
well, I'm just saying,
there's a bear there.
Locally, they are like, the government has to do something. They're like, all right, they kill all the bears around, and then
I use the example of the Pornhub or the Pornhub ban. It's literally a nothing. You're just doing something to say you did something.
So, I don't know the numbers of black bears and stuff like that. That's beyond I'm doing research or whatever, but I'm sure they do. And but he's advocating towards opening up the hunting season, and what I don't like.
We got it right. That was what we betted. That's what you and I were thinking he wanted to zoom in for.
And he's doing what every politician does, and is use an example and then get behind it as a reason, right? But what I'm saying is that I get what you're saying. I just don't necessarily buy and agree with the fact you're saying Florida black bears are dangerous in any way, because in my experience living here and all that I've seen, and
I'm not kidding. I've only seen one maybe one time. I've never seen. There's
been more otter attacks. Like
I've seen otters.
Like statistically, you should worry, and maybe I guess the longer argument is like, well, now it's something different than it was your entire lifetime, where they're way overly populated because there's been no hunting season. There hasn't been a bear hunting season.
Well, that could be true. And both
did they open it up one time?
I thought they did, but both things can be true. Black bears that are born in Florida that are our native species of black bear can be, for the most part, relatively docile and safe, and they could also be overpopulated. Both things can be true, right?
And I guess with the overpopulation, just by the numbers, then you're bound to have more incidents where your interaction with humans are more, and then more incidents means randomly someone's going to die or more attacks, blah blah blah. So.
Sure.
But again,
But of course Ted wants to shoot him because he likes shooting things.
Yeah. Advocate for hunting.
I don't think he's ever going to advocate against, say we shouldn't, unless it's the government doing it.
But he wouldn't advocate towards shooting something that is actually
endangered. No.
Yeah. Or like it's like not for the benefit of the population in a whole.
No.
Yeah.
He's sustastainable. He does like that. But then he's also.
But then he throws a rainbow flag.
Then he puts a rainbow flag on my rear end.
But Ted, you got to get rid of that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get people to agree with you, because
if you're gonna go conservationist, you gotta check your I dislike gay people stuff at the door. You got to.
Yeah.
Right.
And he may
you
not
can't
even
bring
be,
that even in.
He may not even be saying that. Who knows? Because he's in a whole different realm.
Well, I'm not
of
saying
argument.
he does. I'm just saying that was an aggressive thing to say about the rainbow flag, right? You didn't need to say it like that.
Yeah. Who knows what the hell he's been arguing with Pierce Morgan about?
I don't even know why we got an email from him.
Yeah.
He's like, I was just talking to Pierce Morgan, and then I thought I need to go on Tom and Dan. I'm like, I guess if you want.
And we didn't even have him play his guitar, which is the reason why his mic didn't work. Which the audio was bad. It was bothering me the whole time too.
I almost asked him at the end to play his guitar just to validate it.
Yeah, I almost stopped and can you plug in a mic so we could hear you better? Because we have you potted up.
He doesn't have any headphones. The echo was just his iMac blasting it like an old man into his ears.
Yeah. Because then we were hearing ourselves before we had it. I was like,
oh God.
Fault.
And nobody else is there. It's just him in the woods alone. No one there to help. He needs a young boy to troubleshoot things for him, right? You need an audio boy. Hey, get over here, audio boy. Something's wrong with this. It's Chinese garbage. Help me out here. Man. We have a weird job. I blame that on Tracy. Interview, Tracy. Tracy did that. Thank you, Tracy.
I just want
Tracy told me that to balance out how liberal and how weak you and I are, that she's going to start booking her favorite conservative guests to balance out the show.
So when a black bear does kill someone, let's say out of Florida, because he's talking about other black bear attacks, and I think his stats are true. Black bears are more prevalent, so I think just based on numbers, there are more black bear attacks. But do they kill you like a grizzly bear?
No.
They hold you down and eat you to death?
Way more methodical.
Or is it?
I think they
kill you by
up,
wounds?
They tie you up, and I think they.
Because I'm just curious.
Which way would you rather be eaten? Would you rather be eaten from the top of your head down or from your feet up?
No, head down. Yeah, I want to die faster. I don't want to be slowly.
But if you die slower, you might be able to escape.
Well, that's a whole different. You said which would I rather? Eating presumes that I'm
dead
no matter what.
The bear's going to start eating you.
If I'm dead no matter what.
You're not dead. You're just injured. And the bear's going to start devouring
you.
It
started with my feet. Because,
right. Yeah, gives you some time.
Yeah, and then I may be able to poke its eyes or something. I don't know if that'll work.
I think you know what? I've thought about this before. I would start making love to the bear or trying to pleasure it in some way.
There's
I would go right into prison.
There's lots of stories about people that have escaped grizzly attacks and stuff, and it is the most frightening accounts of being starting to be eaten and stuff. And the person
they start saying things like, "I could hear my skull fracturing." Yeah. Cut that out.
And then
Stop
you got
that.
This 1,200-pound gigantic mammal. This head, it's like, God, that's crazy that thing is attacking you and you're trying to fight for your life.
Yeah. I didn't even like it when girls that were bigger than me would get on top. It would I'd be like, get off of me. Help. Being smothered.
Anyway, so that was a random Ted Nugent interview.
Yeah, that was, anyway, every once in a while we're going to do this little thing called Random Mistake.
It
was fine. It was fine.
It's either that or so people are like, whoa, that's a weird thing.
Who do you guys want to talk to, EJ or Ted Nugent? It's your pick. It's your pick.
I'm surprised at his age too. That
he looks pretty good for his age.
He's even bothering to still get out there and promote hunting in Florida.
Well, he really does enjoy. Now that I believe. Some of the politics,
hunting activist.
and I do think he's a conservative, but a lot of the rainbow flag thing being saying things that are overly aggressive, alluding to us getting into fights with our congressional leaders, violence, those are all little things that he's always done, right? He knows how to whistle those really, really well. But I think one of the things, and one of the only two things I think he truly loves, are being outside and music. Because when he talks about him, he changes into a person you can tolerate. When he talks about the other stuff, you're like, I don't know about this guy. When he talks about his love for Motown and all of the great rhythm sections of Detroit, and when he starts talking about like music and how much he loves it, you see a different human. When he starts talking about like keeping animals safe or protecting his, his land, he seems like a pretty decent guy.
But he also must like going back and forth and the arguments and stuff. He's still doing this. He's still like doing media.
But it's part of his persona now,
out.
right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say like, he's also plugging his thing. But I'm like, I feel like this is, got to be a pain in the ass, like getting on shows, arguing, so like
he didn't seem too
he's
bothered.
not even arguing with me.
He
I
didn't seem too
were
bothered
messing
at
up.
all. Yeah, he was just like.
But it's like at 77, like I'm not doing that. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, the hell no.
Oh my God!
I know I'm a
right
different
now,
person.
I have nothing left to say now, and I'm locked in. I have to.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna hunt and do my thing and enjoy my family. He's got 17, how many grandkids or whatever? It's like I'm hanging out with them.
When people start telling me that, I start thinking, well, it's hillbillies.
No damn way that I'm getting on my computer and then calling some random show. And
I gotta call Tom and Dan.
mixing it up with about some Florida, some state that I don't even live in.
Bears.
You don't live here, So
No,
like, it's
no.
like, I don't care what happened. Like other states, like I'm.
But he's got a bear in the fight.
At 77 years old, he still got it. Still got at least the motivation to do this. Crazy to me. Anyway.
That's crazy to me, baby.
I can't believe you were still willing to get on your computer and talk to some strangers about black bears.
Maybe
in
when
the
he
state you don't
stops
live in.
doing it, he dies, right?
I guess, yeah.
It's like finding purpose in life.
Anyway,
Yeah.
and also I feel like Ted Nugent isn't as polarizing as he once was, and like we're at a different 10 years ago, Ted Nugent's like, oh, you can't have him on your show because even when he had his wife on, we were like, oh, people are gonna like. But now
I
it
kind of
seems
hate
like,
that because I like talking to anybody and just to see what they have to say, and then if they say some crazy stuff.
yeah, but even then,
know.
but Ted Nugent doesn't seem as controversial as he once was, right? Maybe to some people, but
I think I think he still is. He's not as active. He's not as active in the current administration. I don't think he likes it. I think he's very anti-government. I think he's almost anti all of it. I think maybe at one time he was a Trump supporter, but I think now I'm starting to see a lot of the guys that I pegged as regular conservatives aren't necessarily like MAGA conservatives. I don't know. Not getting political. I'm just saying. I think a lot of people like have jumped ship and they're like, I don't want to do any of it. I just want to be free. He seems sort of like that with he's like freedom.
Like libertarian.
But with I hate the rainbow flag and stick it up your ass. Whatever that is, I don't know.
It's the most fun flag.
It is the best flag. I like that flag.
It's like I don't know.
It sucks because like if somebody laid flags out and said pick the one you want, I'd pick that one first because it's the most fun. Yeah, pick the most fun flag. I'm like, oh, this one rules. It's got every color in the world. This is awesome.
Anyway, weird. Anyway, we will see you tomorrow.
All right. That's a heck of a way to go into lunch, guys.
God, I wish this microphone worked.
I'm sorry, buddy.
You know what? I
started sweating and freaking out.
I should have told him, like,
where's that go?
Something's wrong with your audio. Fix that before we start talking to you.
Is that?
That's tonight. 1 and 2.
Thursday 1 and 2.
I need to remind myself, just like, well, hold on, your audio sounds like shit. Let's try to fix it before we start.
Well, it's not that it sounded like, it's not going to sound as bad as you think. It was just he was only split in one side. I could almost mono it out.
No, I should have told him to fix it before we started, instead of just, because I don't, it's like he wanted to come on the show. It's not like we're wasting his time.
Yeah, I get it. All right, there's that. Thursday 1 and 2. You need food?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a salad.
And then I've got, what were the times? I only got 14 and 21.
That's what I got. I think you only cursed twice.
No, there's one extra one, I think. I'll look. 14.
Yeah, I wrote down 21. That was the only one.
Fuck. All right, guys. Well, hey, have a... Yeah, the echo was him. It fucking sucked. Oh, the flag thing. Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of, EJ. Thank you guys for the... Rug steak, I was going to make that joke, but then he just kept talking about bears, so I powered right through it, EJ. All right, thank you guys for helping. We'll be back a little bit